So we can discuss some of the properties of central force. The properties are very important because understanding these properties make you to solve problems in a better way. Okay, first one, the motion is confined to a plane. That is first property. So we have the central force F of r cap is acting along the r direction. Okay, if you calculate the torque, tau is equal to r cross F, the moment of force r cross F. Therefore r cross F is replaced by F of r cap. So r and r cap are in the same direction. Okay, therefore r cross F of r cap is equal to 0. That means the torque is 0. If the torque is 0, we know that if there is no external torque, the angular momentum is a constant of motion. That is called the conservation of angular momentum. So since here the torque is 0 means L is a constant, angular momentum is a constant. Very important aspect. So what is L? L is equal to r cross P. Okay, L is r cross P. So P is momentum, linear momentum. So r cross mu into V. V is the velocity. So V is r dot r cap. So V is r cap means L is r cross mu into V. It simply means the property of cross products gives you the angular momentum will always be perpendicular to r. Or in another way, r and L is always perpendicular. Okay. Now L is fixed in space. We know that L is some fixed direction. So L is fixed in space. R can move only in a plane perpendicular to R. Okay, L is fixed. R can move only in a plane which is perpendicular to L. Okay, I am giving a figure like this. So this is L, this is R, this one is the plane. So it rotates in this way so that we require only a plane to represent R. Okay, we can represent it in a plane. So for a plane we require only two coordinates. Okay, right? Since so as you observed, we can immediately think of polar coordinates. Okay, by choosing the polar coordinates, mu r double dot is equal to F of r cap. That is our equation of motion now. So this is x, y coordinate. This is the mu, this is r, and this is fr, and I take this as theta. So we have r and theta. Therefore I can choose polar coordinate for this problem. So this equation, that is mu r double dot F of r cap, become, in polar coordinates it have two components, the radial component and tangential component, that is in the r cap and in theta cap. Remember, in central force motion there is no tangential component, only radial component exists. So the radial component of equation become, so we have learned the acceleration components in polar coordinates in the last chapter. Okay, so I am using this here. So the radial component is mu into r double dot minus r theta dot square is equal to F of r, and the tangential component, the theta component, is mu into r theta double dot plus 2r dot theta dot is equal to 0 because there is no tangential component in central force motion. Okay, now so that is it clear? So it is given in a plane and remember there is no tangential component. And one more thing is r cross f of r cap is equal to 0. Okay, the cross product of r cross f of r cap is 0. That's a very important point. So that's one property. One is in plane, and so this will give you the angular momentum is constant. Okay, angular momentum is constant. It is in plane. R cross f of r cap is equal to 0. These are the very important points. Now second property, energy and angular momentum are constants of motion. Here we are going to give you the idea of orbits. Okay, let us see. So in polar coordinate, this is mu r theta. So we have two components for this velocity, the radial component and the tangential component. So v in polar coordinate is given by v is equal to r dot r cap plus r theta dot theta cap, where r dot is the radial component, that is vr is r dot, and the tangential component is r theta dot, that is v theta is r theta dot, right? So therefore we can calculate the magnitude of angular momentum. So we have L is equal to r cross p, that is mu into r cross v. So we have two components, r component and theta component. R and v are in same direction, so that will be cancelled. So r into v theta will exist, that is v theta is, that is mu into r v theta. Therefore the magnitude of L is I call small l, is equal to mu r v theta, that is equal to mu r v theta is r theta dot, that is L is equal to mu r square theta dot. Very important. The magnitude of angular momentum L is mu r square theta dot. Now I am using energy conservation. E is equal to, so angular momentum is constant, then E is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy, that is half mu v square plus u of r, where that is equal to half mu v square is r dot square plus r square theta dot square. Okay, so this is v square is dot product of this one, v dot v, that will r dot square plus r square theta dot square. Okay, so therefore half mu r dot square plus r square theta dot square plus u of r. Okay, so what is u of r here? U of r is the potential. Okay, potential energy. So what is potential energy is defined like this: u of r minus u of ra is equal to minus integral ra to r f of r dr. What is ra? Ra is some far point, that's only. So how we define potential energy? Something to bring from infinity to that point, like that. So in physically, u of ra is not so important. Okay, so u of r is equal to minus integral ra to r f of r dr. Remember, so if you know f of r, you can calculate potential energy also. That's important. Now, so we have L is equal to mu r square theta dot. From that, theta dot is equal to L by mu r square. Now I am substituting the value of theta dot in equation 2, that for equation of energy, that is E is equal to half mu r dot square plus r square in theta dot square is replaced by L by mu r square all square plus u of r. So arranging half mu r dot square plus half L square by mu r square u of r, that is equal to E is equal to half mu r dot square. These two terms I am writing u effective, or I call the effective potential, or effective potential u effective r is given by half L square mu r square plus u of r. Okay, that's called effective potential, where the first term is called centrifugal potential. Okay, half L square mu r square is centrifugal potential. These are all potentials, so this is called a centrifugal potential. U of r, that I already says. Okay, so that is our energy, half mu r dot square plus effective potential. Okay, so potential is not the same, it is an effective potential. So if you look on equation 3, equation 3 there is no dependency on theta. Okay, that simply means it is a equation of motion of a particle in one dimension. Okay, only dependent on r. Okay, something like a straight line motion. That's very important. The problem is quite simple. Okay, two body problem is quite simple. So it is reduced to a one dimensional problem. Okay, all right. Anyway, from equation 3 you can find r dot. R dot means dr by dt. So you take u effective left side and arranging, you will have dr by dt is square root of 2 by mu e minus u effective. Okay, now I am integrating. I am taking dt to this side, this one to the downward, because u effective dependent on r. So integral some initial value r0 to r dr by square root of 2 by mu e minus u effective of r is equal to integral t0 to t dt. So t0 to t dt is t minus t0. Okay, so our equation is this one, integral r0 to r dr by square root of 2 by mu e minus u effective r is equal to t minus t0. What we are getting on solving this integral, we are getting r as a function of time, the small r. Okay, remember what is small r? The distance between the center of mass and the origin. Okay, so we will get the variation of r with the time by solving this. Okay, now we want to get the similar thing for theta, how theta varies with the time. Okay, so that we are going to calculate how theta varies with the time. That's simple. So we have L is equal to mu r square theta dot. From that, theta dot means d theta by dt. D theta by dt is equal to L by mu r square. Now I am integrating from theta 0 to some theta 0 to some theta. Theta 0 is some initial value to theta. D theta is equal to integral t0 to t L by mu r square dt. Theta minus, so integrating this one, we are getting theta minus theta 0 is integral t0 to t0 is some initial time, t0 to t L by mu r square dt. Okay, that is equation theta minus theta 0. Now what we are getting? We are getting the relation from this equation. We are getting how theta varies with respect to time. So we have two equations. One tells how r varies with the time. Another equation tells how theta varies with the time. Okay. So really the path of the particle means how the particle moves depend. If you want to know how the particle moves or what is the path of the particle, what we required is not r of t or theta of t. We required r of theta. Okay, how r varies with theta, or what is the relation between r and theta? Actually, r of theta is the orbit of the particle. So r of theta is generally we call orbit of the particle. Okay, that's very important. So calculating r of theta is important. Since we have dr by dt is square root of 2 by mu e minus u effective r and d theta by dt L by mu r square, I divide this by this one. Therefore, I get d theta by dr. dt will be cancelled. D theta by dr is equal to L by mu r square into 1 by square root of 2 by mu into e minus u effective. Okay, so that is the relation between theta and r, or this is the equation of orbit or the path of motion of the particle. So in this calculation we got r of t theta of t and r of theta. We can calculate whatever we want.